Hello, friends. Mary here with Boomers Blooming. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. My day today was somewhat uneven. I don't know if that's a good word for it. It was a little stressful today. I had a few things going on that caused some stress, and I try to stay stress free. So let me just tell you. Let me tell you about it. I woke up this morning and my daughter called or I called her. I think I called her. And she could barely hear me and I could barely hear her because it was so much static on my landline phone. Okay? So I said, well, just let me call you back. Let me find out what's going on with these phones. So I called my son and it was the same thing. So much static. I'm like, what's going on with these phones? And I told him the same thing. Let me call my telephone provider and see what's going on. Now, about 2 or 3 months ago, I was having this problem and I replaced my landline phones. And it was clear for a while, and then the static started up again. Now, this morning, the static was just worse than it had ever been. I could barely hear the conversation. So I said, well, I hung up from my son and I said, let me call my provider, which is Comcast Xfinity. So I called them and uh, I called them on my landline phone. I could even hear the prompts, the buttons to push, and they couldn't hear it, and so they just hung up. So I said, well, let me get my cell phone out. Thank God for my cell phone, because I have a landline phone and I also have a cell phone. So I called my phone provider on my cell phone, and I was able to get them, of course, clear. And this very nice customer service agent lady, she answered. I tell you, she was God sent because I was so frustrated. She was God sent. And she said, you have the right one. I'm going to help you. We're going to straighten this out. So I'm like, okay, you know. So she said, what's the problem? And I told her. And she said, okay, tell me what's going on. And I told her, I said, I replaced these landline phones about 2 or 3 months ago, and I thought it would solve the problem. Plus, I had your tech in my home last week, and he said the problem had been solved. But the problem is even greater now with the static. I can't hear over the phone, and neither can other people on the other line hear me. She said, no worries. You got the right person, like I said. I'll fix that. So she started out with the Wi-Fi. She said, Miss Mary, you have more Wi-Fi than what you should really have. You're not using all of this. And so I said, well, am I paying for this? And she said, sure you are. She said, but you have more than what you can use. And I said, well, can you fix that? And she said, sure. We're going to work on that first. And so she said, I'm going to put you on hold. So she came back and she said, I have a plan for you that's going to save you $45 a month because your Wi-Fi is too big for what you use. I'm like, oh man, you're going to save me almost $50 a month? I'm a senior on a fixed income. That is wonderful. She said, yes, ma'am. I don't know who signed you up for this, but you have too much. And you don't have enough gadgets or things or uses for Wi-Fi in your home to have this magnitude of this strength of Wi-Fi you have. She said, so if you want me, I'll change it and everything's going to remain the same in your home. You'll still the speed and everything. Because I told her, I said, I have a YouTube channel and I don't want to mess that up. She said, oh, it won't be messed up. You just have too much and you're paying for too much. So she saved me $45, well, really $47 a month by reducing the amount of Wi-Fi I had. was so thankful. That's almost $50 a month, like I said. So she straightened that out for me. And so she said, now let's go to the landline problem. Tell me about what's going on with your landline. I said, well, like I told you, I replaced these phones. These are new phones. They're AT&T phones. And the tech was in my home last week, and he said everything was fixed. But today, the static is so bad, I cannot use these phones. I cannot hear. And people on the other line, all they hear is static. And I tried to call you all, and I couldn't connect with you all because all you could hear was static. She said, okay, we're going to fix that right now. So she said, begin by telling me what your hookup looks like. And I told her. Well, to make a long story short, friends, I had my landline phone, which is on a base and it has an answering machine, hooked up the wrong way. She said that landline phone needs to be hooked up to the back of your modem. No one ever told me that. I had it plugged into the jack in the wall in my kitchen. I had even begun to think that maybe because it was too close to my television, that was causing the static. I just didn't know what to think. She said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to unplug it from the kitchen wall and bring it into where the modem is. And I'm going to tell you exactly where to plug that cord from that phone, exactly which slot to plug that phone into. And then you're going to plug it into an outlet. I'm like, wow, nobody ever told me that. She said, so we're going to do it step by step. She was so kind and patient. I mean, I know we have horror stories today about customer service and people don't want to help you and they're short with you. And especially when it comes to seniors, they don't want to take the time. But let me tell you, she was wonderful. She went step by step. She took the time with me. And before she hung up, she made sure everything was working fine. And she saved me $47 a month for 5 years. That Wi-Fi bill will not go up for 5 years. So I have the correct Wi-Fi that fits the modem because she said my Wi-Fi was so high that it didn't fit the modem. Now, since she lowered it, it fits the modem. I do not have to change out the modem. And everything works the same because I've recorded videos. Everything is fine. I've talked on the phone. The phone is crystal clear. And so my landline phone is crystal clear. My Wi-Fi is working. And I'm $47 richer every month. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. She was so kind and so nice and took such great patience with me and fixed both problems. But here's the thing. I wear hearing aids, and so I got so stressed out because of the static on my line, and I took my right hearing aid out, which doesn't work that well, and I laid it down somewhere. And I went and got my left hearing aid that I hear better out of. Well, after all of this was taken care of and I was off the line and everything was working fine, I looked for that right earplug, that right hearing aid. I couldn't find it. I spent almost 3 hours after that call looking for that right hearing aid. Now, those hearing aids are very small and they're hard to find. They blend in with stuff and they're small and they're hard to find when you misplace them. Now, I know it's not lost. It's somewhere in my house. And I know I will eventually come up on it. I know Charlie has not bothered it because he doesn't bother things like that. So I will eventually find it. I prayed for it. I prayed to find it. And I know eventually it will show up because this has happened to me before. misplacing one or two of my hearing aids. So after about 2 or 3 hours looking for it, I got so frustrated. I hadn't eaten. I had been working earlier to get the phone and the Wi-Fi straightened out, and I got so frustrated. And I'm like, Mary, just wait. Take some deep breaths. This is not a life or death situation. Take some more deep breaths and let it go. You will eventually run across that Wi-Fi. I mean, not the Wi-Fi, but the hearing aid. Because I went through my garbage, I emptied it all out, and it was not there. So it has not been thrown out. It is in the house. It's just hiding from me. But here's the good thing. The one over here was going bad anyway. I couldn't hear very well out of it. The one over here, I hear better out of it. And it's the one that I still have. So I'm thankful for that. The one that's misplaced, I didn't hear very well out of it. The one I have is the better one. So see, there's the good thing about it. So after I took some deep breaths, I thought, I'm going to go in here and shower and brush my teeth and fix me a cup of coffee and sit down and make me some breakfast. I'm not going to let this ruin my day. It's taken up too many hours already of my day. And I'm just going to relax. I'm going to chill out from it. And that's exactly what I did. Now, have I found that right hearing aid? No. But it's in the house somewhere and it will show up. I'll stumble across it. I'm like, there's that hearing aid you've been hiding from me. So I decided not to let that just ruin all of my day. Because I tell you, I have had it's been pretty stressful today. I normally have a quiet day, not a lot of problems, but there were a couple of problems today. And I had to remind myself, now, wait a minute. Let's take this one step at a time. This is not a life or death emergency. You will eventually find it. And if you don't, you have the good one in your ear. And on top of it, you've saved almost $50 a month with your telephone provider. And I'm like, it's all good. It's all good. That's how I look at it. Because had I not been having a problem with my telephone, I never would have called a telephone provider and I never would have found out that I was being charged for services that I really didn't need and that I could save almost $50 a month. You see how things work out sometimes when we think, oh, this is so terrible. I'm so stressed out. Oh man, what am I going to do? See how they work out? So after those deep breaths, inhale and exhale. After that great hot shower and brushing my teeth and that wonderful cup of coffee, because you know I take my coffee, I put a little coffee in my cream. And then I sat and I just had breakfast and I just chilled out. So I've saved money today. It's been a good day. My phone service is working. It's been a good day. And I'm thankful and I'm full of gratitude. I really am. I'm $47 richer on the month. And because I'm a senior, I could use that $47. You know, maybe I could buy a couple of packs of oatmeal and maybe a pack of wieners. Maybe I could throw in a loaf of bread with that $47. But I just wanted to share that with you because I'm just like everybody else. I get frustrated. I know I laugh and carry on a lot on this station, and I always say it's all good. But I'm just like everybody else. I get frustrated. I get disappointed. I like, oh, what am I gonna do? How can this be straightened out? But today I was sent an angel of a customer service representative. She worked with me so long, she said, now I'm going to get off the phone. Everything's all right, Miss Mary. I said, yes, it is. She said, it's time for me to go to lunch. She probably had worked past her lunch break. And I said to her, you know, if I was there, I would buy your lunch. And she said, oh, that would be so nice. And I told her, I appreciate you so much for taking the time, working with me, going step by step so I could understand what the problem was, fixing the problem, and then making sure that the problem is corrected before you hang up. In this day and time, I do not take that lightly. That is a real blessing. And that's how I accept it, as a real blessing. She was my blessing for today. So, friends, I love you guys. I just wanted to share that with you because sometimes, you know, I get stressed like everybody else. Things pop up, and I'm like, Mary, slow it down. Take some deep breaths. It'll work out. And it does. You all have a great day, a great night, wherever you are, what part of the country you're in or in the world. I just wanted to share that with you because, like I say, we hear so many horror stories about customer service reps, the way they talk to you, the way they do seniors, the way they just are not interested in helping people. Well, today I had an angel of a customer service representative from Xfinity, and I'm thankful. Goodbye. I am really, really thankful.